Welcome to Weasel Gaming. And today we're talking about the Rillaboom Theme Deck tactics. Strengths, weaknesses, how to play, that kind of stuff. Rillaboom is a grass energy deck with no variance in that. So you have 18 grass energy cards in the deck. With that, we'll jump right into our Pokemon, and we're going to start by looking at the starters. The Pokemon you want to be playing early on in the game. So to start with, we're going to talk about Gossiflower and Eldegoss. Gossiflower is a pretty good basic Pokemon to play. Call for Family allows you to search your deck for up to 3 basic Pokemon and put them onto your bench. This allows you to pull a lot of the basics you need to be successful. Your Grookey, so you can start building towards the Rillaboom. Snorlax, Miraculous, Cottony to get Whimsicott going, things like that. So that's not a bad play, especially early on. Eldegoss is great follow-up to that. You get those Pokemon that call for family, you get those Pokemon on the bench that you want, then evolve to Eldegoss and play Blessing of Fluff. Blessing of Fluff allows you to search your deck for up to 3 energy cards and attach them to your bench Pokemon in any way you would like. This is critical. You use Gossiflower to get Grookey and Snorlax on your deck. Then you start using Blessing of Fluff to pull energy and get Snorlax and hopefully Rillaboom up and ready to actually fight. And that is a key component. Also for starters, you have Cottony and Whimsicott. Now, Cottony does not do much. It's a pretty weak Pokemon, not a lot of damage. However, if you have Whimsicott ready to go too, Whimsicott has 100 health and has a 1 energy leaf step for 50 damage. Not super powerful, but if you're able to get Whimsicott out in the second round, 50 damage can be pretty impressive against other starter Pokemons, against the other basics that you're going to be facing at that point. Cottonride is an interesting ability. I'm going to go ahead and talk about it now instead of later, because it really doesn't fit into any other categories. Cottonride allows you to flip a coin, and if heads, your opponent shuffles their active Pokemon and all attached cards into their deck. This is a desperation attack. When it works, it is amazing. You take some Pokemon that's, a stage 2 evolution and 4 energy sitting on it. You sneak Whimsicott out there, you throw a heads, and bam, you're putting 7 cards back into their deck. And you're taking away 4 turns of their operation. They've taken time to put that energy onto that Pokemon. They've taken time to evolve that Pokemon, to use it against you. You now just discarded 3 or 4 of their turns and put that Pokemon back in their deck. Sure, you don't get a prize card for it, but it can give you the breathing room you need. However, it's a 50-50 chance. And if you've watched any of my Pokemon trading card game online games, you know that luck does not favor me. I've had Cottonride fail me 5 times in a row. I've had Cottonride have multiple chances in one game to win me the game by just taking a powerful Pokemon out and just failing over and over again. I have had Cottonride be a clutch win point for me though. So it's great. And if their active Pokemon is the only Pokemon they have, you can actually win the game with Cottonride. I've seen that happen early on. So a first turn or second turn Cottonride that gets rid of the only Pokemon they have. So Cottonride can be kind of interesting, kind of fun, but it's risky. You don't want to depend on it. Next up for your starters is also one of your power hitters, and that's Miraculous. 110 health, 1 energy for 20 damage. But the really impressive part is the 2 energy powerful needles. You flip 2 coins. Actually, you can flip more than 2 coins, but typically you're going to have 2 energy on here, and you're going to be flipping coins. And you do 60 damage for each heads. So that means with 2 energy on this Pokemon, you're doing either 0, 60, or 120 damage. That's not bad for 2 energy. You're usually going to be doing at least 60 damage. Now again, I have horrible luck. I've had games where Miraculous could have won the game for me. And I've played 2 Miraculouses back to back with powerful needles. I only needed 1 of those coin flips to land heads, and all 4 landed tails. So again, you're really trusting in luck if you're using Miraculous a lot. But it's not a bad early to mid-game fighter. The other time Miraculous can come in really handy is if you just load Miraculous up with a lot of energy. Not a really highly suggested tactic, but in desperation it can be good. If you put 4 energy on Miraculous, you now take it from a possible 120 damage to a possible 240. And you increase the likelihood of doing at least 60 or 120 damage because you're getting more coin flips in there. So you can put extra energy on Miraculous and make them a little more dependable to get some damage on the board. You really don't have any defensive Pokemon. As far as your power goes, again, we've already talked about Miraculous. If you're willing to throw extra energy on Miraculous, can be a powerful Pokemon. Next up for your power Pokemon, you have Snorlax. 3 energy rolling tackle is not amazing at 80 damage, but the 4 energy heavy impact with 130 damage is pretty dependable and is going to take out most things in one hit. 150 health means Snorlax is likely going to survive a hit or 2 also. So Snorlax can be pretty powerful, especially if you're going up against a fire deck. Next up for your power, the theme deck mascot here is going to be your Grookey line. Grookey himself, not very good. Evolves to Thwacky. Well, Thwacky can be an okay player for early game, mid game even too. 100 health, and that 3 energy ambush does 50 damage with a potential 30 damage bonus. So you're going to be doing 50 or 80 damage with this, which is okay early game. But the main reason you got these guys is to evolve up to Rillaboom, your big bruiser, your heavy hitter, the monster of your deck, Rillaboom. 190 health. That's more than quite a few V cards out there. On top of that, the attacks are amazing. So, Drumroll does 90 damage plus 10 damage to every opponent's Pokemon on their bench. So, that's 90 to a potential 140 damage that you're going to dish out in one turn. Drum Beating does 180 damage for 4 energy, which is impressive. 180 can take out almost anything out there, short of another Rillaboom and a couple other big, heavy health targets. Drum Beating is huge and really can put a stop to an enemy. During your next turn, however, this Pokemon can't use Drum Beating. And honestly, that's okay. The reason that's okay is you have a couple ways around this. One, Drumroll is still a great attack. And 90 damage is pretty competent against a lot of things. When you can get Rillaboom out there and knock out their big heavy hitter with your 180 damage attack, chances are they don't have a lot to follow that up with. Or what they have doesn't have any energy to attack back at you anyways. So you can do Drum Beat for a couple rounds. Or Drum Roll, sorry. And Drum Roll is a great attack because it starts doing damage. They pull some injured sap off the front line and you can drum roll them to death in the bench. Basic Pokemon that only have 30, 40, 50 health can get knocked out by a couple drum rolls. So Drum Roll is kind of a panic attack for your opponent. They're going to be worried about it. Drum Beating is amazing with the kind of damage it puts out. and with a high health of 190 health, man, you can do a lot of damage. Now, if you need to do drum beating twice in a row, you can actually pull that off. And the way you do that is with the switch card. If you switch Rillaboom back to the bench and you have a Whimsicott, a Cottony, a Eldegoss, a Gossiflower, or a Grookey that can be brought out to the active spot, has 1 energy on them, or you can put an energy on them, retreat them back, bring Rillaboom out for another 180 point hit. So Rillaboom is really where your power lies. And it's really where all of your power lies. I mean, Snorlax can get out there and fight. Miraculous can, but there's a lot of chance there. This deck really revolves around Rillaboom. And that's both a strength and a weakness. For types, you really need to worry about fire decks. And there's a lot of fire decks. Cinderace is out there, although you won't see it played much. Relentless Flame is out there. Darmanitan has a fire Pokemon out there that can cause some problems for you. And there is another Charmander deck coming out soon. So there's a lot of fire decks out there, which makes this a hard deck to play, especially when you're really using all of your power just around Rillaboom, who's going to be weak to that fire. Now, for our trainer cards, for drawing cards, you have 4 hops, which is a lot of draws, and you have 2 Professors of Research. Your hops can draw 3 cards. Professors of Research allows you to discard your hand and draw 7 new cards. I don't like to use Professors of Research a lot unless I don't have many cards or anything I really need to play. Oftentimes I find myself sitting there with Professor's Research. I would really like to draw more cards to get more energy or something, but I have one of my 2 Rillabooms in my hand. I don't really want to sacrifice my Rillaboom, because then I get energy and I don't really have anything to use the energy on because I threw away Rillaboom. So Professor's Research is really kind of a tricky card to use. For drawing Pokemon, you have 4 Great Balls and you have 2 Pokey Kids. You also have, of course, Gossiflower that can pull some Pokemon early on. Great Balls, you pull the top 7 cards from your deck and you pull Pokemon out of there, put in your hand. Pokey Kid allows you to search your entire deck. Great Ball can be used for whatever you can find. Pokey Kid should really be focused around pulling Snorlax if you're fighting a fire deck, or trying to get your Grookey, Thwacky, Rillaboom setup going. You do have 2 potions for healing and a Pokemon Center Lady. This comes in very handy for keeping Rillaboom in the game. Rillaboom has 190 health. They're going to be having to throw big things at you to knock you down. Having a Pokemon Center Lady in your hand and a potion or 2 means you can wade through another turn or 2 of damage, just rolling out those drum rolls and drum beatings as much as possible. Pokey Gear 3.0 is used to find a supporter out of the top 7 cards of your deck. A lot of times this is going to be Hop to draw some cards, Pokey Kid to find a very specific card, or Pokemon Center Lady if you're going to need to be healing Rillaboom. Don't forget about Pokemon Center Lady. If you don't have her in your hand, Rillaboom is hurt. Pokey Gear 3.0 will let you search that out and then play it to heal. Your other cards, we already talked about the 2 switches you have to allow Rillaboom to do the double attack. Also not bad if you need to just pull Rillaboom back from the front line and wait until you can get potions or Pokemon Center Lady to get her back in. And you also have an Ordinary Rod. That allows you to search your discard pile for up to 2 Pokemon and or 2 basic energy. Rillaboom takes a lot of energy to use. Miraculous takes a lot of energy to really be effective. Snorlax takes a lot of energy to use. Oftentimes I'll be using that to just get more energy back in the draw pile. It can also be good for getting Rillaboom and Thwacky and Snorlax, and Miraculous even, back into the deck for another chance to pull them later. So now it's time to look at our stats. For your power, this is the kind of damage you can do. Obviously, it's a pretty high-powered deck at a 4. That's because Rillaboom can do a ton of damage and can do it all day long. Snorlax is also a pretty heavy hitter, as is Miraculous. Speed is a 3. Speed is how fast the deck can start hitting hard. And it's not super quick out of the gate. Rillaboom takes a lot of energy. Snorlax takes a lot of energy. Miraculous takes a lot of energy to be consistent. And once you discount those 3, you don't have a lot of damage out there. So keep that in mind. Agility is how well you can get Pokemon onto the bench and ready to fight, so evolved and whatnot. And in this deck, it's not too bad. You have a lot of draws between your Hops and Professors. Gossiflower is good for getting the Pokemon you need out really early. You do have some great balls and Pokekids too, so it's a fairly agile deck. Your energy efficiency is at a 2. This deck takes a lot of energy to use. Rillaboom needs 4 energy. Snorlax needs 4 energy. Miraculous really needs 3 or 4 to be consistent. So you're going to be hard-pressed for energy, and you're going to need to be very careful with that because you don't have any energy-specific abilities here. You don't have anything to help you pull energy back from discard or pull energy from the draw pile. You're going to have to rely on your draw cards to get those energy. Your complexity of this deck is sitting around a 2. It's not an overly complex deck, but you do need to know how to kind of make the best use of Rillaboom and Miraculous, but it's not difficult. Resiliency is a 3. You do have a lot of high health Pokemon. Between your Snorlax and your really high health Rillaboom, you have some good heals. You don't have any defense, but you do have a lot of health and heals to keep you moving through the game. Your type ability in this deck is pretty weak. You're not going to be strong against many opponents out there, and you do have a lot of weaknesses to fire, and fire is a pretty popular deck. Manipulation is a 1. And the reason that's there at all, not because you have any cards, Pokemon Catcher, or anything else that can manipulate things, but due to Whimsicott. Whimsicott ability, again, that Cotton Ride ability, allows you to possibly throw away their entire active Pokemon, put them back into the deck, along with any energy, items, anything else they have attached to them. It really can turn the tide of battle, but it's a 50-50 chance on a relatively weak Pokemon to get moving. So there's a little bit of manipulation, but don't count on it to save you. So hopefully you feel a little more confident with this deck. It's not a bad deck. Rillaboom's super, super strong. But since this deck really revolves almost entirely around Rillaboom, it's kind of a weakness there because you're depending solely on that Pokemon without much else to back it up besides like Snorlax. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.